Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we've got an exciting episode. We're going to be taking a look at my new rifle, custom rifle that I've been setting up with the help of a friend. It's in 7 PRCW, sometimes called 7-6.5 PRC. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Well, let's take a look at this fine rifle that we have today. As I said before, we have been working on a little bit of a Wildcat cartridge. This Wildcat cartridge in particular was developed by Alex Wheeler, and hence at one point it was called the 7PRCW. I think for clarity, he has started calling it 7-65 PRC, not to confuse it with the 7PRC. When he first started coming out with this cartridge, there was a 6.5 PRC, but not a 7 PRC. And so at first he called it 7PRCW, and W was for Wheeler. I used to think it was for Wildcat, but I think it's for Wheeler. And but now he's calling it 7-65 PRC. Some people call it still 7PRCW, which is what I often call it. And I got it labeled on my rifle in that chambering. You have seen this rifle before if you've been watching the channel. I did buy a Tikka T3X in the Winchester short action Magnum, or 300 WSM or 300 Wisdom, depending on how you want to say it. And what I did was I sent it off to Hell's Canyon, and I got the barrel for the Tikka 300 Wisdom taken off, and I got them to put on this 7mm barrel and had them ream it to the 7 PRCW spec. Now, credit goes to a friend of mine who has already designed what he wanted to be in this cartridge. Now, if you are interested in 7 PRCW or 7-65 PRCW, and I'm just going to call it 7 PRCW from now on for brevity, but if you're interested in 7 PRCW, you can go to some places online that Alex Wheeler has posted the reamer specs, and you can buy the reamer. Most of these cartridges have been designed for long-range F-class shooting out past 1,000 yards. My friend wanted to do it for hunting, and so we're doing it in shorter barrels. Oftentimes they're going to 32-inch barrels, 28-inch barrels, 26-inch barrels. Again, they're shooting F-class. They want big, long rifles, getting as much performance out of the cartridge as you can get. And versus we wanted to get a nice shooting rifle that could be used for taking large game at long distances, but also not be carrying this huge javelin around in the mountains. I've talked about this, and I have a video when I was shooting my friend's rifle. I'll put a reference to that or a link to that. It's basically the exact same setup. I just copied my friend's setup. So again, carbon fiber wrap barrel, and put out by Hell's Canyon. I got him to Cerakote it. I did have to convert it from a short action to a long action. You can still see this piece of silver right here. That's the spare part that I had to change out from Tikka to get it to do that. Other than that, everything's kind of set up. I do have some nightforce picatinny rail on top, and then nightforce rings. And then this is my vortex razor LHT. 3-15. It's a very lightweight scope on top, and I really like that for shooting. So today I'm still developing my first groups with it. I've already shot my first ladder load, and now I'm also kind of just shooting. I picked out 2 powder specifications, and so I'm continuing to develop the cartridge and see what I get best with groups. So today we're going to shoot for groups. We're going to shoot 10 shots with 56.5 grains of N55 Vitivore powder and 57 grains of N55 Vitivore. So just off by half grain. Those seem to be some good areas. And again, credit to my friend who's been helping me a little bit with the load development. I am using some 153 grain Hammer Hunter bullets. That's one option that I intend to look at. I also intend to look at some of those that are in the 160 grain. They're solid copper monolithic bullets. I do have a fun hunt coming up this fall, going out to New Mexico to hunt orcs.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
So not orcs, but oryx. So I'm excited to do that. So you have pure precision stock. I have the stock Tikka trigger on there. I think that's fine. At the end, I do have a Rearden muzzle brake on there. And the only reason I have that is so that I can swap a suppressor onto it. Haven't really shot it with a suppressor yet. This is gun number 2 using that reamer. So I've told my I've told other people, like, this is a 1 of 2 type gun, which I think is pretty exciting. I mean, yes, there are other people that have 7 PRCWs, but again, this was specifically designed for a specific bullet. Yeah, we're going to see what we can do with this. We'll have it on the channel, but let's shoot to see kind of the first time I'm shooting for accuracy with it. Let's see how it performs today. Okay, well, here we are at the range. We're going to be shooting some groups. I've got 2 loads. I've got 10 rounds of grain weights, 56.5, 10 rounds of 57.0. We're going to shoot both for groups. We're going to alternate between them so that as the barrel heats up, and we see how the 2 groups perform relative to each other. So it's a fair comparison between the groups. That's a tip that my friend gave me that I had not heard of before. So I really like that. I'm sure others have been using that for a while. Now we'll move over to the 57 one. .2957. Ooh, a lot faster. 3019. Okay, I've been thinking a little bit about why potentially we had those big jumps, and I know I didn't quite get my seating. I put in a new seating die, and these were the first rounds that I loaded with it. And I have marked on my sheet that the first kind of 2 on the 56.5 and 2 on the 57, first 2 rounds loaded in each of those. They weren't quite the consistent seating depth that I was going for. So in some sense, that's probably what's going on. All right, so now we're back to the 56.5. The rifle isn't totally settled down in terms of heat, so I'll shoot another 4 rounds and then we'll let it sit probably a little bit longer. Okay, well, that was kind of stupid. I forgot to plug in or turn on my microphone. So I shot the next 4 groups. You hopefully saw that in kind of a sped up mode. Let's keep shooting. We got 4 more for each one. I want to keep shooting. We are starting to hit dusk, so I got to kind of get these shots in before everything goes to crap. So we're going to go to the 56.5 one. Things have settled down a little bit there. Quite a bit since those first couple of shots. Everything's settled way in on that. Also, I had cleaned the rifle, so I know that sometimes can mess things up until things settle in. You want to shoot your fouling shots, but I also think I'd messed up my seating depths. Sorry, I'm kind of getting some mirages in my scope a little bit. Not mirages, but a second dot, and I don't know if it's my eyesight or what it is, but that's not helping my accuracy for sure. .2983.5. Yeah, very consistent on those second loadings. Last 6 shots have deviated less than 10 feet per second. That's pretty awesome versus jumping around a little bit on the 56.5. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. We're losing sunlight, but we'll let this cool down just a little bit. It's not hot by any means. It's a nice thing about this setup and the carbon fiber wrap. It's still warm, like it's not hot to the touch at all. But I just want to let things cool. Okay, we are losing light pretty fast. Let's shoot our last 4 bullets. Let's go with and I went down and I took a look. It does look like the 57 is grouping just a little bit better than the 56.5, but let's finish things off. It's getting pretty dark, so I've got to get this last couple of shots done. $29.83.9. That's right in there. Last shot for the 56.5. $29.67.9. Yeah, it's jumping a little bit. I am using ADG brass, which they now make. I didn't talk about that previously. Normally, how you make this cartridge is you, originally as Alex Wheeler designed it, is he necked up a 6.5 PRC cartridge. And so this case is really a 6.5 PRC. They necked it up to 7mm. Let's get our last shot in here then. Okay, these are the groups. Of course, at this point, I don't know the timing of it all, meaning which ones I shot when. We'll have to watch that on the replay, and you probably have seen that, but I have not seen that. That's not a bad group. I mean, the exception of these guys out here, that's kind of 1 MOA for a 10-shot group. That's not bad. I'm getting kind of excited about this. This is a little bit wider out here, right? That's spreading out. So that's 2 MOA there. So, and we were seeing bigger spreads with that. So I think I'm going to go with the 57 grains. And then we'll start worrying about length, overall length. See if we can dial it in a little bit better. And work on my brass treatment, brass prep, see if I can get that a little more consistent too. Again, I'm using the ADG brass, which is from the factory, 7-65 PRC or 7 PRCW. So that's exciting. Well, let's wrap things up today. Today was the first time I've had on the channel my 7-65 PRCW rifle out, and I'm pretty excited about it. I've only shot a ladder before this. It's kind of first time I'm shooting for groups. Definitely something going on with the scope. I'm a little frustrated with that, but those groups aren't bad. And definitely I'm going to improve as a shooter as well. Let me know what you guys think about this cartridge, this rifle. Have you heard of it? Is this something that interests you? Yeah, there's some expensiveness, but you know, this is a little bit of a hobby that I'm working on, and I think it's a lot of fun to do something kind of unique, something different, and we're going to see how it performs this fall for sure. So I will be showing a few more videos as I'm continuing developing loads for this, and that's just because this is something I'm going to be doing and I want to be doing and I want to be working on. Hopefully this is something that you're interested in. Is this a route that you would go? What are the rifle cartridges that you like most for hunting? What do you like best for out east and shorter range? What do you like best for out west and longer range? Put it in the comments below. Would love to hear what you're hunting with and what animals you have been hunting. And so with that, I hope everyone has a great week, and let's get to shooting.
From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best. Reviewing each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crown. Shooting for the stars, defending our rights. With God in our heart, we'll rise to new heights. From the range to the woods, we're ready to roll. Trigger bar philosopher, heart and soul. In the land of the brave, we stand tall and free. Prepping for tomorrow, prepared you will be. Conceal, carry wisdom, good guy with a gun. Self-defense strategies, we'll make it fun. Night vision gear on, we move with no light. Tactical training, prepared for the fight.